Let us. What is going on, crypto fam? Happy one more day till Friday, which is Thursday. And welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. I'm one of your co-hosts, David, and we're coming at you from our studio here in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Before we get into the content, quick disclaimer, nothing that's said on this channel should be taken as financial advice, so please do your own research. Got a jam-packed show today for you guys. We have one of our favorites, Crypto Blood, will be joining us in about 15 minutes. But before that, I have to introduce you to the man, the myth, the legend, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. First time checking us out, we here are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information, and we package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, here at Sin City Crypto, we don't just do live streams. We also do deep dives, other content, shorter videos, all that jazz. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of it.
The jazz.
Also,
do jazz hands real quick. Let me see your jazz hands.
Jazz hands?
Yeah. Come on.
That was very Caucasian of you.
It was.
I'll
take it.
Let's like the video here because
Or more jazz hands. Like the video if you want to see Robin do jazz hands. Robin?
no more jazz hands.
The people want jazz hands. People, speak. Speak the truth. Do you want to see Robin's jazz hands or not?
So, all right. So like the video. You ain't subscribed yet. What the hell wrong with you? And roll call. Also, real quick. The club limit, 60.
60, baby.
60 bomb.
Big 60.
You think we don't get there?
We hit 54. Hey, you know what? Yesterday you asked me, are we going to hit 50? I said, no, we hit 50.
You're a hater, man. That's why.
I'm not a hater, bro.
You're a hater. All right.
I was looking at the TA of our chart, and I was like, I don't see it. TA was wrong.
Boy, super bullish. We went ham on the ICO for this thing. All right, now, Tox, first in the chat. Hola! Brokey Yoshi, Oliver, Hindi. We also got Stereo 2 in the chat and also on the ones and twos. We got Why You Loud Gang, Marky and Mark, Brokey Yoshi, Nordy, Jason. We also got Destroyer, Fino, Eric, Redman, Big Chili Willie, and Terry K.
TK?
TK up in the house.
She's gonna knock you out. He or she. I believe
No
it's
H
a
on
lady.
that Ola, Terry. You must not know.
Hey, you leave Terry alone. You leave
In
Terry
case
out
you don't
of
know
this.
how to spell Ola.
You leave Terry out of this. Terry, I apologize on behalf of Robin. Damn, Daniel, welcome back.
All right. And as we mentioned, we're excited. We got Crypto Blood on, man. You know what?
That dude.
When I see the lineup, when we got lineup for who we're going against on the around the blockchain, I mean, you know what? Everybody there is professional. Everybody there has got their own space or channel, made a name for themselves, reputation, resume, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, there's nobody that I frown upon. Put it that way. Everybody brings their own insight and expertise. But there are a couple people I get really excited about. One, Crypto Blood. Dudes bring the juice, bro. He brings the juice. Anyways, we'll if you got any questions you want us to pass on to Crypto Blood, make sure you put those in the chat. As we mentioned, he's at NYC NFT, or is it NFT NYC? Whichever way it is. We're gonna pick his brain, see what's going on out there because we couldn't afford to go. So, and
You're very expensive.
All right. So jumping right into it, just so that way we can knock this out and bring him in afterwards. Bitcoin, $20,274.21. So we're at this pivotal level. As we had mentioned before, we came into this new channel, which is obviously the support / resistance. Right now, it's support, $20,000 mark. Will it hold over? That's the big question. We're asking ourselves the same thing back in last month, and so we came in at 30,000, and we traded at 30,000 with little deviations. A couple thousand up, a couple thousand
So
down.
Rob,
What's up?
you talked about multiple times. You showed the channel. You said you bought here, sold here, bought here, sold here. Would have made money. Well, what's the range now? Where are we buying? Where are we selling?
Well, you know what? I think
Is it 19 to 21 now?
Yeah,
Buy at
I would
19,
say
sell at
I would
21?
say 18.5,
Okay. We haven't.
and I would also say 22.
22,000.
Yeah.
We haven't hit 22 since.
Obviously, I think we're going to start getting some big moves here very shortly. I think over the weekend we're going to get some of that volatility. Yeah.
Which you typically do.
So, and then we'll circle back to crypto as far as prices and a little TA later, just to plow through this. Crypto bubbles for the day. Polygon up 14 and almost 15%. So a lot of movement in Polygon. Me and David, we're talking a little Polygon today. I'm still very bullish on it. I think, if say Ethereum did become super efficient and scalable and massive transactions per second, there's still a place for Polygon. At the end of the day, Polygon is its own chain. It's not something that, it's not just an asset for Ethereum. It's its own project, and it just checks in with it. It leverages the security of the Ethereum network.
I was telling Robin, I was like, well, when sharding's finally in play, what's Polygon going to be used for?
If anything, Polygon becomes more efficient.
Well, here's the thing: they just went carbon net zero.
But I'm saying it becomes more efficient, more scalable, faster, more secure. And as the Ethereum network grows and becomes faster, it does nothing besides benefit Polygon Matic. Now, you could argue what is the benefits of using Polygon Matic versus the base layer because it's more secure. That argument would make sense if Ethereum scaled to a level that was on par with Polygon. Polygon is leaps and bounds ahead of them as far as scaling. Now, Ethereum is the security, so it's a lot slower right now. But taking a look at Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we are at 11. So right where we were yesterday, a little bit more easy in the sentiment. People aren't quite as fearful, but this is still, don't get complacent. This is still, there's a lot going on, man. We are in the midst of a recession. I don't care what nobody says. We're not going into one, or maybe we're in a recession. In the same way that we were in a bear market in crypto 2-3 months ago, finally everybody realized, like, now nobody's saying we're in a bull market anymore. But it was only like 6 weeks ago that people were like, I wonder if we're still in a bull market. Like, shut up. Same thing with the recession, man. Same thing with the recession talks. Like, stop it.
You shut your dirty mouth.
You stop it. Nasdaq's pretty flat and even right now.
I like your personality.
Also, just basically all of Wall Street. Not too much is going on. You leave my personality. And
HP's mad at you.
Why is he mad?
You forgot his name in the roll call.
Did I?
Yeah.
HP, my dude. My bad.
He's not mad. He wasn't. Me trying to make you feel bad.
Now. Hola! HP, how you doing, bro? All right. And then, so a couple things here. One, I wanted to share this tweet, this video, a 1-minute video.
Is that our girl? Cynthia Lummis?
It's our boo-boo.
I love Cynthia
Lummis.
I love the name Cynthia as well. It's a great name. Very powerful.
Now, this was just once. She has like a couple questions. She did lead off when I watched this. She did inquire a lot about stablecoins, and regulations with stable coins and CBDCs, and what is the Fed doing with CBDCs, and of course, just like all government high-ranking officials, he just dodged all questions and just pretty much went back to we understand it's here, needs regulation, something, blah blah blah, and that's it. But anyways, without further ado,
Hold on, wait for Daniel. He said he went to go take a toke. He'll be right back.
Okay.
He didn't go.
You also know that applicants for master accounts are getting whipsawed between the Federal Reserve Board of Governors and the banks. That one says that the Federal Reserve says that the banks have all of the authority they need, meaning Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City and others have all of the authority they need to make these decisions, and yet you go to the reserve banks and they say, oh no, we're waiting for the Board of Governors. And so there's a whipsaw effect, and we get no answer. The black hole continues to exist, and my frustration level has long since been at a boiling point. It continues to be at a boiling point. There's no responsiveness. It's a black hole. And I wish to just once again use this opportunity to encourage you to address that. There's just no excuse. There's no excuse anymore, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So, what's concerning is that you have a major senator she has literally 5 minutes to ask questions.
Right.
And half of her time is her expressing her frustration when it comes to regulation. This was about the disconnect between banks, charter banks,
right,
Federal Reserve, and like interest rates and things like that. So, kind of irritating, huh? I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised.
all the time.
I understand the inefficiencies of government because, I'm like, I'm always researching and seeing what's next. And it's astounding to me that nothing gets done, man. It's so hard to get and make any progress.
Well, because
now, real quick with the Fed chair. Okay, so here before we bring on Crypto Blood, I want to bring something up here.
Bring some.
I want to bring up something. Okay,
What do you want to bring up?
Okay, first of all, your boy Sleepy Joe, he been some of us love Joe, some of us what. Anyways, Fed chair Jerome Powell says Russia's Ukraine invasion is not a major inflation driver. So Sleepy Joe been going out here saying inflation's fault is all Russia, right?
Yeah.
And like, first of all, this is year over year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the inflation rate is literally this year right now from where it was last year. Last year there was no war. So like, anyways, so
the whole CPI thing is messed up.
So here we got Powell admits inflation was high before the invasion, and then that's all I highlighted there. But anyways, I wanted to point out the Russian ruble is the best performing currency of 2022. Now you would think with all the sanctions that the ruble is just straight in the dumps or toilet or whatever you want to call it, but the ruble is trading at 54 rubles for $1 compared to 140. So now more than double the value since that point. And since the start of the year, ruble has soared 40% against the dollar, outperforming every other currency in the world. And so the sanctions that we're putting down aren't working.
Are you hodling the ruble or what?
What's that?
You're gonna hodl the ruble?
You're both going all in on rubles.
No,
No, not at all. But, and you know what? Obviously, they're taking advantage of the higher price of gas. And, they're a massive exporter. So they're straight, making some cashola. Now, also here, I did pull up one thread here. And so at Davos, at the G7, Putin made a speech. Anyways, I have this little translation here. Now, so here in the speech, he says, surge in inflation in product and commodity markets have become a fact of life long before this year. So Putin's basically saying, inflation, the policies behind inflation have been long before just the COVID and pandemic. And the world has been driven into years of irresponsible macro policies pursued by Jesus. And I ain't advocating. Your boy is not a fan of Putin by any means, but I'm just saying that, like, they ain't printing money like we are. And we're dropping sanctions and we're crippling our own supply chain. And yet, dude's over here with a strong currency, and he's just laughing, man. He's like, and he's basically saying they accelerated their money printing. Here in the U.S., and this is a known fact, the money supply has grown by over 38% in the past 2 years, and 20% in the EU. And then he goes on to say, we all hear about this so-called Putin inflation in the West. And so he goes, so all the money printed, where did they go? Stayed in house, so just debasing other countries because we're the world reserve currency. But anyways, man, it's an eye opener. And this thread here I pulled up from Stack Hodler, he's basically making a case for how Putin is he's lining up with the narratives of Bitcoin. Basically saying you want to unplug from the global fiat system, the monetary system that's in place now. It's not efficient. There's money printing out of control. And so the narrative of this gentleman here is that Bitcoin, Putin's about to adopt Bitcoin. And you know what? There's been some supporting articles that they're
not from his bank.
Not the central bank. You know what? The central bank came out and said they wanted ban Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then
2 days later,
Putin came out was like, yeah, shut up.
We don't do that here.
All right. All right. Anyways, yeah. So kind of crazy, huh? Did you know the ruble was so strong?
I did. Well, actually, my friend Sheldon and I were talking about this on our way to Arizona. The ruble's higher, worth more than the dollar. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're high, bro.
Yeah.
And so what he meant was it's outperforming every currency, which it was. So, anyways,
all right. Well, without further ado, let's bring our boy on here, Crypto Blood, and hey, what's up, bro?
Is that a Celsius shirt?
Let me slide to the left, slide to the right.
One step in I don't know how the song goes on.
David hates that song.
I'm very Caucasian, bro. You got to forgive me.
David absolutely
I did the jazz
hates
hands
What's
earlier.
up, Rob?
What you talking about, man?
David hates that. I brought it up the other day. We're talking about weddings and the cha-cha slide, and dude was straight. He won't feeling it, and I was like, of all the people that don't know how to dance, definitely would think that you would adopt a song that basically instructs you how to move.
Come on, Rob. You gotta get with the times, man.
Who, me or Robin? Robin's gonna get the times. Robin's behind the times.
Robin.
Rob, yeah, you're right. What's up, man? Thank you so much. Is that it's not a Celsius shirt, right?
No, Telos.
Oh, okay, good. All right, I saw the E and the L.
You saw the perp.
Having PTSD, bro. I'm having PTSD. My apologies.
Nobody I can't get with the Celsius. Can't get with the Cardano. Anyone that starts with a C, I can't get with.
You said you can't get with Cardano?
Nah, man. Nah.
All right, we won't get into that.
That could be left for another segment.
Fair enough. Hey, man, thank you so much for joining us. We're big fans of you. We kind of saw we're watching your channel, but seeing you on Around the Blockchain and me sitting in the chair and seeing the behind the scenes stuff, man. You're a funny dude. You know your stuff, so we appreciate you coming on here.
Definitely, I think out of personalities, man, definitely you line up with the one person I want to hang out with when I'm on the show, man. I get dumb excited if you're on the docket. I'm like,
yeah. Same, man.
There it is.
Same.
So I know you're in New York for NFT NYC. How's that going, man?
So I got in yesterday, so I'm late. Okay, I got in yesterday, but looks like I didn't miss nothing. Because I'm hearing everyone's telling me it's been a pretty bad experience so far. So we will see, man. I'm gonna get out there today. I went to a lot of after party events and stuff yesterday. So those were great to network with a lot of people. Caught up with Crypto Keeper. We were at the 4040 Club. So yeah, it was great last night.
So I don't know if you saw on Twitter, there was these picketers. NFT is the Antichrist and God hates NFTs. Did you run into any of those people, or did you accidentally run into or on any of those people?
Why is God the anti? I mean, why is God? Why is NFT NFT coins. Oh man, I did not. I did not. You know, any new technology. So I know you guys probably remember when NFT hit the scene when in the art world, it kind of disrupted that space.
Yep.
A lot of people from the traditional art world hated it. They were coming out bashing it and talking all this bad stuff. So it's a sign of change, and you know it's going to, you got to expect it, right?
Amen to that.
You know, a lot of what I don't understand is a lot of those like former a lot of old artists or artists from back in the day. They did prints. All the famous, you know, Picasso has prints. A lot of people have prints. So you just have basically,
Right.
you know, one of 100 or one of 1,000 or whatever it is. And the concept of it is damn near similar to what it is in NFTs. And you any argument you can make for art in the form of NFT, where it's, you know, one of many, it's the same thing. It's the same idea, just packaged up with new technology,
Yeah.
or, you know, in a new way. And so I don't know, man. I think there's just a lot of haters out there, man. They just
There
don't.
is.
They don't like
A lot
to
of
see change.
You know, human nature. We don't like change, Dave. You know, we don't like change.
hmm
That's
But you see it in our own industry where you got like the Bitcoin maxis. It's like, I'm like, look, man, you know, everyone's all like, oh, the greatest, you know, whatever. Everything else is a mute point. And like, what? And is there? First of all, is there Bitcoin
I
maxis
can't-
up there?
And where in New York?
Yeah, over there in at the NFT convention, or is it?
I haven't seen any. Matter of fact, the funny thing is, a lot of these people got in, their first experience to crypto is an NFT,
right,
which is interesting.
right.
I ran into a lot of people up here. That's their story. They didn't buy an Ethereum. They didn't buy a Bitcoin. They don't. Their exposure to blockchain and cryptography, in the sense of, you know, crypto, what we know it is through NFTs, which is interesting, very interesting.
So NFTs are like the gateway drug of crypto.
Yeah, I know when we were in Bitcoin Miami, man, it was something else, bro. Those Bitcoin maxis, it was like, I remember I gave somebody a business card and he saw crypto.
He's like, nah.
He saw crypto on there. He was like, nah, and he was just like, nah, bro, Bitcoin only, baby. He's like, I'm just like, bro, calm down. Like, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you know, I'm not with the Bitcoin maxis. I have a lot of good friends in the space that are big people in this, and they are pretty Bitcoin maximalists themselves. And I mean, I don't get it, man. It just does not make any sense to me. You can't. So first of all, Bitcoin is not Turing complete. So you can't
Right.
make smart contracts and do all the robust things. You may not like Ethereum. You may not like Solana. I know I saw that debate of you two were talking about Solana, but you may not like whatever smart contract. But you got one, and you're going to need one to really make blockchain what it's intended for, right? To really change the game, change the world, decentralize things, give people their property back as far as data and ownership, all of that. You got to have a Turing complete blockchain. And so Bitcoin just does not fit that bill. And what technology do you know of that covers everything? It doesn't make sense to me.
I agree. Now you mentioned Solana. What are your thoughts on Solana? Are you a believer in the network? Would you feel comfortable investing money in Solana?
No, not at all. It's the worst project.
Thank
at
God,
this-
man.
at this
I'm
game-
telling.
at this- at this juncture, it's the worst project. It's a VC. You know, it's just VCs, man. It
yeah.
shows you how money can really influence the crowd, and it's a damn shame.
Well, people want that. People want that confirmation bias, or they want that credibility. So they see, oh, this VC firm is dumping money. It must be a good project. Well, little do they know, it's also these VC firms in the background that are pulling the strings.
I'm telling you, if they're not Bitcoin maxis, I swear every content creator I've run across is all in on Solana, man. They think it's the greatest thing ever. And you know what? It does have a big community. It's number 2 in the NFT space. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it shouldn't be around. I'm just saying that the negatives that come out of that, and especially in an environment now where everyone always looks in hindsight, like, well, the writing was on the wall. We should have known. Like, the problems are here. Problems are here. And these blockchains are extremely temperamental. And, when you have a problem, it cascades and snowballs, and you can essentially break the whole ecosystem. We've seen just small exploits take out Ethereum, right?
Right.
I mean, we got Ethereum Classic because of something. And you have a chain that has just had problem after problem after problem. And I feel like people are just, because of how large the ecosystem is, they're just like, well, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. And you're seeing all of the ugliest parts of traditional finance and corporation rearing its head here. But yet in our decentralized, crypto space, and it's like
blockchains.
Well, yeah. So,
all right. So I want to pivot to Voyager. Okay. So you know the whole situation with Voyager. They got a loan from Alameda Research, which, come to find out, they own about 11.5% of Voyager Digital Holdings. So they're the largest single shareholder of Voyager.
We talked about it on the show on Around the Blockchain too. What are your
what are your thoughts on Voyager? Do you think they're in trouble? I mean, they've already put limits on withdrawals, only up to 10,000 a day. You can only do 5 withdrawals a day. Are you nervous? If you had money on Voyager, would you be looking to pull it out?
Absolutely. They have a liquidity issue, right? That's self-evident. That's why you're seeing Alameda, bring in a liquidity infusion to the company. So that is your red flag. I mean, it's out there now. The issue is, if we head lower in the markets, then they're going to probably be out or need another bailout, another infusion of liquidity, which Rob and I talked about it on the show Around the Block. Like, he's setting the precedent. Like, so if you bail out one, then you got to bail out, and he's actually encouraging other titans in the space to go out and bail out these various companies. And I just don't think that is the route you should be going in a free market. You got to get rid of the malfeasance and the malinvestment, and let those individuals make the mistakes, and RIP to them. Because then it brings in a room for other competitors to come to the space and pick up where they left off.
Well,
it also kind of puts some exposure to FTX, because they just lent out money to BlockFi.
I think SBF knows what they're doing. I was telling Robin, I was like, look, we might not think like this, but imagine you're a new consumer. You're trying to pick a centralized exchange to go on. Well, this one's having issues. What's the one company that has enough money to be bailing other people out? And like, well, they have enough money. I'm going to put my money on there. I mean, do you think that that's kind of Sam Bankman-Fried what he's doing, or it's just out of the kindness of his heart?
I'm sure on the back end, we don't know exactly what the details of the structure of, for the liquidity, what does he get in return, right? I'm sure there's probably more stock shares, private shares, right, that he's going to get in return. I don't know if it's just a straight long, Rob. I don't know if you know the details on what
for one, okay, so he is now the largest holder of stock for Voyager. He owns 11% of Voyager now.
Yeah. But he's talking about, so I believe I know the 15,000 Bitcoin was a line of credit that they have a certain amount of money they can pull. So they can only pull, let's say, 5 or 10%. These are not the real numbers. I'm just giving you an example. 5 to 10% a month. But the 200 million, I believe, is just an infusion of cash.
But you see, here's my thinking. So the way I look at this is that you have FTX, they're bailing out, they bailed out BlockFi, or they lent them a loan. And so they lent them $100 million.
250.
Was it $250 million to BlockFi? Yeah, 250 to BlockFi. $500 million to Voyager. They've also, there was another one as well. Anyways, they're handing out all this money in this environment where you're having this cascading collapses of lending protocols and exchanges. And so, I understand you're confident in FTX. I am confident in FTX, but at the same time, we're in a down market. And I don't care. I'm sure FTX is way down from where they were back in January.
course.
They were exactly. So they are exposing themselves to undue risk as well. Now, whether or not, I feel confident that they'll move forward through this, fine. Yeah, but there's no disputing. The man is taking on risk by lending out $500 million to a company that is underwater. And, you nailed it on the head, Crypto Blow, when you said, like, what happens, when you reference the crypto market going further down. And, the money that they got from FTX, the money that they just, the $500 million, that is to keep them afloat.
Well,
so if you take more punches and the market goes down even further, then
well, here's the thing. Voyager came out in a statement and said, even with the loan, it doesn't guarantee that people's money's safe. So that kind of worried me a little bit. But
yeah, I mean, what happens if Bitcoin goes down to 12,000? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And say another lender that. Because Voyager, technically is a brokerage firm. And so who else do they lend money out to? And what other institutions or lenders or projects?
There's other it's contagion out there. It's almost like the '08 crisis that we had in traditional markets. This is basically playing out here in the crypto markets. This is crazy, right? But again, I think this shows this is free market. Okay, these guys, this private company, FTX, decides to bail out one company. Okay, let them do it. But I'd rather a private company, to kind of Dave's point, I'd rather a private company do it than taxpayer dollars. Right. That's the whole thing. So let the private market do what they please and bail out who they want. But I just don't think it's a smart. I don't think it's a smart move.
The last
$750 billion now and shelling out cash to different companies is crazy.
I agree.
Scary. The last bull market was the ICO thing, and I think this market is the rise and fall of DeFi, and it's pretty much all institutional money. It's the leverage, unnecessary risk and leverage of institutional money, basically.
Speaking of DeFi, Blood, I want to ask you a question. Do you think the way DeFi is set up right now, is DeFi dead? Do we need to see a overhaul of how things are done, how money is invested, how consumers' assets and money is secured? Like, what are your thoughts on the whole situation?
DeFi is definitely dead, and it's in how we look at it up to now. Absolutely. Like at this point, bro, I really see interest. These high yields that we were getting for a couple of years in DeFi, I think those days are over. I actually think we're going to start seeing an inversion where your traditional markets will begin to see higher yields than in the DeFi world, because now the cat is out the bag, right? It's cat is out the hat, or whatever, term you want to use. Now that we know that there's a scar basically within the DeFi space. People are going to be more cautious about staking their funds with various stable coins and such. So I think you're going to see the yields come down, and as the Fed increases their interest rates, money is going to get more expensive on the traditional side. So you're going to get more yield out there. You may see it either even, or you're going to see, the traditional markets giving you more yield than the DeFi markets. And in many cases, when I say DeFi, I mean like your major platforms. CeFi is done for sure. Yeah. I think they really are done.
They ruined themselves.
Yeah.
I think
they dug the hole and they stuck themselves in it.
There's an interesting shape up when it comes, you mentioned the banks and with the federal interest rate, and perhaps the incentive that banks have to offer you a higher interest. And as for one, even if you look at just history in itself, when the federal interest rate has been at its highest levels, the banks are incentivized to give their customers a higher interest rate, because if you're a bank, you can either borrow money from the federal government at say 5%, or you can just say, hey, open up a checking account and we'll give you 3%. And so,
right, or a CD, you can have a certificate of deposit. Back in the day, CDs were yielding like 9%.
Yeah.
So.
And
who am I going to? Let me ask you, if I can get 9% from the bank, I know we're anti-bank and all that, right? I am too, but let's just be honest. If I can get 9% from Bank of America, or go get 9% or 10% from a DeFi platform, I'm just probably gonna
Say
grab
less,
it.
bro.
And as Dave Chappelle would say, those days are over. Those 9% days are over. So I want to pivot to. So are you familiar with the whole Bored Ape, the whole Nazi narrative?
Oh,
As far as,
yes.
do you mind sharing
Yeah, I
your
did it.
thoughts and kind of maybe giving a
Oh my
synopsis
God.
of yeah, give your thoughts, like what, like give us a synopsis of what's going on and like kind of how you're feeling about it.
So I heard about this some time ago. This is not a new thing. It's just been resurfaced for me, at least in the last week and a half. I saw the video floating around on Twitter, and it's a YouTube video. And I did a video on TikTok. And if you guys want to check that out, it's CryptoBlood _ on TikTok. Um, Pretty damn shocked, bro. Like it is what it is. You can't, like, the Nazi Totenkopf logo. You can just start there, and then peel back the layers from there to see that this was one big, I don't know, joke. I don't think it has any real social um or real any impact, right? It's not going to do anything to anyone. It's not going to hurt anyone. But it's pretty devious.
You
It's
know,
pretty devious.
me and David were talking about it yesterday. Well, first of all, I think a lot of people brush aside, how real or how in your face racism is. And, I come from Virginia, man. And let me tell you, I grew up with some racist ass people in my area. And, some people wanna not believe it's there, or push it aside. And, I think with the political issues that we've had, people want to point the finger at other people. They don't want to point the finger at themselves or at their buddies or their same race. That's why you have all this anti-Asia, and my wife's Russian. She catches a lot of hate now because of what's going on over there. People are like, hey man, this inflation thing is your fault, and I'm just like,
So ignorant, man. So dumb.
and so people are quick to
And
dismiss
listen, man,
racism.
I'm the type. Look. I don't pull the race card. I'm not one of those type of people. I'm actually a Trump supporter. So I'm not your average black dude. Like, I'm not gonna be just going one way. I try to stay open minded about various things. Right. This right here is just straight blatant neo-Nazi stuff, and there's one big joke. Now, are the four founders neo-Nazis themselves? I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to make it a joke. I mean, a very bad joke, a tasteless joke. But
And maybe it started. Maybe it started as a joke, and then they didn't really think it was gonna pop off. And then when it popped off, they were like, "Hey man, let's keep this hush hush on why we started it, and let's just capital and make money."
Yeah, the one thing that in the documentary that they pointed out is that they don't have any context for this project, for Bored Ape Yachts. They don't have. There's no context. Like, there's no story behind it.
Right.
Really, it's just like. So that lets me know, like, you haven't even given me somewhere to start.
Like, what inspired you? If it wasn't the neo-Nazism, right? What inspired you? And there's no answer to that, right?
There's no answer to that.
Right. Now
At the end of the day, it's not gonna hurt nobody. It ain't gonna hurt no black people. It ain't gonna hurt me. It ain't gonna hurt you. But it's just like, wow, I would say if you continue to support the project, I would look at you a little differently. I will
heard that.
say.
I mean, speaking of that, we've seen people like Steph Curry and Jimmy Fallon, people that have had their Bored Apes on their Twitter profile or whatever the case may be, they taking them down. So ultimately, how do you think this whole saga unfolds? Because you look at the floor price. It was, when I first saw the documentary come out, it was at 92. It's at 89. So nothing really.
You think they're
crazy.
still gonna stay number one, even, or do you think this?
I don't know, man. I want to get Blood's take. Like, how do you think this thing unfolds?
Yeah, it's gonna stay number one for a while. I mean, you have to give Yuga Labs credit. They know how to execute, and they have the money behind them. So those two recipes in the pot, that's success. So I don't see it really I don't really see it changing, to be honest with you. Floor price dropped just based on the overall bear market. And honestly, I mean, it probably didn't have anything to
Right.
do with the board expose
And
or whatever.
and money is such a powerful tool that if you know you're faced with the decision of morals or money, 95% of people are going to pick money, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Is there a lot of Bored Ape kind of going on there in New York? Is there like are you seeing a lot of the NFTs around? I saw some I saw like this hallway where it's just nothing but Bored Apes kind of going on. I'm not really and then they had the stage.
I didn't see it. Yeah, I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna start going over there after this and see what's going on. But no, I'm not aware of. I haven't seen much, to be honest with you. I haven't seen much at all. But I think it's to David's point, it's not going to change anything, unfortunately.
All right, I want to ask 2 more questions and we'll let you go. We know you got probably a packed day ahead of you. So, what's behind Crypto Blood? Like, is there why'd you pick the name? What is there a story behind it, or is it just kind of like
it's because I'm a Crip and a Blood.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could do that.
Inner demons. All right.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, the yin and the yang, baby. I'm both.
I like
I'm
it.
more powerful than both.
Even though you're not wearing blue or red today. All right, and then one more.
Blue, is he blue, red, purple?
There it is. That's the merge of the two.
The
baby.
merge.
There it is.
The big merge, and when
I'm
you talking
Barney,
Ethereum.
man. I'm Barney.
Barney. All right, and then one last question.
It was a joke. Like I made the name up in 2014, actually, and created the Gmail account back then, and I held on to it and didn't use it until 2017. And it was literally just a play on words, like almost a double entendre. Crypto, blood. Where it came from.
I like
simple
it.
as that.
Are you? Is it for sale? How much you selling that handle?
You couldn't handle it.
Nah, I'm selling that one.
Yeah. All right, and then one last question. We know you're not a Cardano. We know you're not a Cardano fan. All right.
You pulling up the video?
What video? No. He's got to go. We're good. So
Hoskinson, your boy right there, your favorite. He's testifying right now in Congress over in DC.
Oh, is that what you guys had up? Okay, yeah. No, so look. Let me just say this. I met Charles Hoskinson back in was it last year or 2 years ago out in Wyoming, out in the middle of the country, right? I was out there for first national independent conference. Okay, it was where a lot of the different independent parties came together. Brock Pierce was there. He was, campaigning. That was his first push as a presidential candidate and whatnot. There was a few people out there, a few representatives from the Green Party, Independent Party, whole bunch. So it was actually a good conference. And I heard Charles speak there. Man, the guy is smart, knowledgeable, well spoken. I like him. But that does not mean I have to like his project.
what's your beef with Cardano? Tell us, because Robin and I are both big Cardano fans.
Well, he makes a good point. Though.
Like the market cap, man, the valuation to if you compare valuation to what is actually going on chain, it just doesn't add up. So I don't like it because of the valuation. That's solely it. I don't feel like there's enough being done on the blockchain to render it that value. Now, that's my opinion. The market thinks differently, clearly, right? So that's just my own opinion about it. Didn't you guys just get dApps like maybe about 6 months ago?
Yeah, like about 9 months ago. Here's the thing, though.
Okay.
You can call the market price of Cardano speculation, right? People are speculating. Over 70% of their coins are staked. But don't you think there's enough happening? There's enough development happening. And yes, they just launched dApps. They're coming out with their hard fork. Don't you think there's enough happening to where you can project 2, 3, 4 years from now that, hey, this is a relatively low market cap compared to what it can be. Let's get in now.
No, so that's the problem. The price of Cardano is priced too far in the future. So when we get those things done, when you guys get all those things done, theoretically the price shouldn't move much. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The value has been pulled forward so far in the future. I'm not saying that Charles won't ever execute. I think he will. I think the team, will be able to do all that they say they're going to do. I'm just saying I think the price value future present value is pulled too far.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's
I see
all.
what you're saying. And I think a lot of that community stems simply from the admiration of Charles. I think
Man.
it's not so
Yeah.
much what's going on chain, and a lot of these people have no idea.
He's a funny
what's-
dude,
yeah,
man.
But
He's a funny dude.
And he smokes cigars, so hey.
I was gonna bring that up.
Fellow
So
cigar smoker.
I was gonna ask you where your cigar was because I know on Around the Blockchain you were taking a little break. So.
hey, your boy, I'm a big cigar aficionado myself as well. So when
What's an
when
aficionado?
you come to
coming.
Vegas, we're gonna hang out.
Hey, bro,
know
you
what?
come to Vegas, you let us know.
Yeah, we'll have you in studio.
sure,
We'll smoke
for
a
sure.
cigar here. We'll go out for dinner or something. Go to a nice steakhouse.
Absolutely.
And Robin's gonna pay, so it's gonna be great.
I'll pick out the bill. How about
That's
that?
right, my man.
We ain't ordering no expensive cognac though. You
Hey,
better calm
chill
down
out,
over
bro.
there. It's
All right, Crypto Blood, we wanted to thank you so much for joining us. Guys, we dropped the link to his YouTube channel. Please go subscribe. This man puts out amazing content, great personality, great insight. Also, his Twitter is @CryptoBlood_. So go follow him there as well. And again, man, we thank you so much for your time.
man. And
I got to get you guys on off the chain. I do them on the weekends, typically either Saturday or Sunday. So
Let
I'll
us
coordinate
know.
with you guys to get you on. It's a fun show. Fun
Yeah,
show.
man, we'll be more than happy to.
Just let us know. Reach out. We'll be more than happy to come join up with you. And then if you want to come back on our show, man, we'll have you on anytime you want, man. And then when you come out of Vegas, we'll smoke some cigars, man.
And if you run into any of those picketers out there, bro, you give them a piece of your mind. All right?
Oh, do us a favor. Also, put up
Take
a
a
bunch
picture
of
with them.
Videotape it at you guys.
Yeah, send us a bunch of photos on Twitter. Put up a bunch of photos.
Yeah, we'll retweet 'em.
We'll share them on the show tomorrow.
That'll be good.
For sure.
All right, brother. Thank you so much again,
All
and
right,
enjoy
guys.
the rest of your day, man.
Thanks
And
a lot.
we'll see you next time.
Holla.
All right.
My man. I'm gonna disagree with what he said on Cardano. I think it's gonna move up more because the speculation and the hype is what's priced in.
He made a good point.
He made a good point.
You know what? Is the price overinflated for where the project is now? Perhaps. I mean, I think it is.
Probably, but
But I mean,
don't think
but
that'll
that
suppress.
is crypto at its finest too. You got to think Ethereum was overvaluated on promises as well. Remember, Ethereum was less than $100, and they had no smart contracts,
Right.
And they really had no DeFi community. They just hadn't built it out yet. And you had really cheap Ethereum, but everybody was super bullish on it. And they're like, yo, this is the future. This is the future. Smart contracts are going to do this. This is all the possibilities. And lo and behold, you saw Ethereum pump up to $4,000.
Right.
Now, definitely more upside from other layer one projects. And I do think that there is a pretty big price baked into Cardano's price currently.
Anyways, big thanks to Crypto Blood again. Guys, go subscribe to his channel. Puts out some really good content. All right. We're moving on to our very next segment of our show, the Fuego Take.
That's hot.
So our hot take is pretty simple today, and it co-aligns with the thumbnail. Coming out of the weekend, so Monday's here, okay? Today's Monday. Is Bitcoin under 20K? Is it over 20K? Robin, I'm going to send it over to you first.
All right, man. I'm switching it up, man. Normally I'm like, hey, Bitcoin's good, bro.
You going bear?
Bitcoin's good. Bitcoin's gonna moonshot here.
Of course, the day you go bear, I'm going to go the opposite way.
Yeah, that's right, baby. So,
Of course you are.
you know what? Could this be the bottom? We said it. I've been saying it all week. Absolutely, could be the bottom. But you know what? Doom and gloom is ahead. Recession is upon us. Jerome Powell out here talking about, recession's real. The European stock market's down. Wall Street is looking over there across the pond like, what's going on? They're scared. Bitcoin companies are going under. There's all kind of leverage and borrowing and uncertainty. And so for that reason, I think we're going to test some new lows today, this weekend. I think we're going to be hitting this 16,000 mark. I think we're going to get a solid bounce right back, though. I
16,000?
think we're going to hit over the weekend. Okay. This is my play by play. I'm gonna play this back on Monday too when your boy absolutely straight hit a home run, super magnificent.
Nothing.
Anyways, so the next 2 days we test the 20K. We dip under. So come Friday, 19,000. Maybe we graze 18,000, bounce back up to 19. Go into Saturday, start touching that 18, and then flash crash Sunday night 16.8, and we bounce back.
Why? What's your reason?
I told you I told you the reasons, man. The ruble's strong. the European. This is at the end of the day. I'm making a lighthearted prediction. The markets can go either way, and I could also make a case on why it could rebound. Although I will say, if I had to pick a side, which is kind of the situation I'm in here, I do think that going into this weekend, it is slightly more likely that we'll have a pullback. The bullish narratives aren't lining up right now. The stock market's not pumping. People don't have extra capital on the side to deploy into buying Bitcoin. And institutions are liquidating Bitcoin, and also the miners are as well. So is there enough retail capital out there to keep Bitcoin from dipping? I don't think so. Not right now. And when you start seeing these lower lows on the shorter scale, you're going to see institutions come in and buy at those levels. Because I think people have cash on the side and they're like, you know what, at this point, I don't really want to buy it at 20,000. I think I can get it at 18. And that mentality alone is going to be the driving and key factor to the price going down lower. That's what I got.
All right. So for me, I'm going the opposite way. I think we're actually going to go up. And then we're going to test that 22.8, that $23,000 upper level of the channel we had drawn out on our charts here for a while. And part of it has to do with mining. The difficulty has dropped by 2.3%. That was an article we're going to cover, and we'll cover that more in detail. But now it's easier to mine a block. And so now, even though the price of Bitcoin, and I'm not saying that, it's going to have a complete positive effect in 2-3 days, but it's something the miners can look at and say, hey, blocks being mined are getting easier. Maybe we don't have to disconnect as many ASICs from the network, whatever the case may be. Also, I think with essentially the crypto markets being essentially the only markets that are available to trade over the weekend, you're going to have a lot of investors sit there and say, well, man, this thing's taking a beating. It's at its last cycle's all-time high, which is typically where it stops until it goes back. We're close to a bottom. The miners have kind of capitulated, but it's not 100% over yet. There's no big events coming up. Fed Chair Powell already spoke in front of Congress. We would have seen the ripple effects of that already if there anything negative was to come out of it. I don't know, man. I think we're going to test the upper 22. I think when we come in on Monday, we'll be over 21,500. And another reason why is pull up my laptop, Rocco. Here's an indicator I use on my charts. This is called the Ichimoku Cloud, and you can see we just twisted the cloud to green. So typically that's a good signal, and this is more from a TA side. So if I take sentiment, TA, on-chain analysis, I just think we're going to the upside. Again, typically in these conditions, I'm like, nah, we're going into the weekend coming down. But it's just funny that the day you go bullish or bearish, I go bullish. But we'll see. Put a 1 in the chat if you think we'll be under 20K, and put a 2 in the chat if you think we'll be over 20K.
It's a lot. Redman hit it on the head there. He said the volume isn't there, and I think
the volume isn't there. He's absolutely right.
The lack of volume, and that's one. But you also, can see, also the I just think the markets.
But the volume's not there, right? We're consolidating. But here, pull out my laptop again. It's the same thing, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Forrest talked about it today. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Throw Bollinger Bands on and say, okay, are we ready for a move? Yeah, we are ready for a move, right? We're constricting here. Last time we saw this happen was back here on June 5th, and we saw in the short term we saw a 7% move to the upside. And if you go out on more of a longer term scale from after that, we went, 30% to the downside in a matter of 9 days. So the volume's not there now, but over the weekend when think about it, right? Just in terms of common sense, people are still trying to make money. People are still leverage trading. People are still buying and selling options and futures contracts, right? If there's no stock market, there's no ETFs, there's no, right? What are you going to buy and sell? What are you going to try to make money? And it's going to be crypto. So I think the volume will be there, but I think we will make a move to the upside. But if I throw this back on here and I take the Bollinger Bands off, this little channel we've been in and this little trend line we've been trading on since since 2 days ago, I think 20K is solid, man. I think 20K is solid. I think we do see a move to close to 23,000, but that'll remain to be seen. And it looks like chat is kind of split. I see more ones. One was under 20K, right? Yeah, one was under 20K. So it looks like a lot of people are saying it's going to be under 20K. Also, if this is your first time watching our show, please drop a hello or an hola in the chat, and we would love to personally welcome you to our Sin City Crypto fam. All right, Robin, you want anything else to talk about before I move on to some articles?
No, we're good. We did have somebody new in the chat earlier when Crypto Blow was on. Dillinger.
Daz Dillinger.
Hola! Welcome, Sin City Crypto.
The rapper.
If you're still here.
Yes.
It was a while ago.
It was. All right, ready, set, talking points. All right, so Robin mentioned the video when Crypto Blood was on. We didn't get enough time because we knew he was trying to get out there to the convention, the conference. But here, so today, Charles went to Capitol Hill, and he is testifying in front of Congress. Well, here's a little 2.5-minute snippet of what he talked about. So without further ado.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the information. And Mr. Hoskinson, did I say that? I'm trying. Yes. Thank you very much. And I know we just have a few seconds left, but there's a lot of discussion about whether we should regulate certain cryptocurrency as commodities or securities. What do you think might the benefits, and maybe you could talk just a little bit about that. What are the drawbacks, things like that?
Well, with 37 seconds.
I'm sorry, yeah.
No, the gentleman can take as much time as he requires.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Well,
Chair.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, don't push it, but
it's a fine line here.
You got to be careful. I'm Italian. When you look at cryptocurrencies in general, I've always viewed them like financial stem cells. They're kind of more fundamental than a particular category, like a currency or a commodity. And really, it depends on the markets they're traded on and the use and utility that they have. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what public policy considerations are you attempting to satisfy? Is it sanctions compliance? Is it consumer protection? Is it market stability? What we do as an industry is we're all about transparency. So it's kind of funny we're talking and debating about disclosure regimes. There's no other financial asset in the world that really is as transparent as a cryptocurrency. Every transaction from the very beginning for Bitcoin, for example, from January 3rd, 2009 is known. Every single one, the holdings of the founder are known because all of these things are publicly available to everybody. So it's more about, in my view, understandability and the tooling required to make this work on a global basis. So I don't think it would be wise to say, well, is it a security or a commodity, or fall into this temptation of who's the more permissive regulator or what is the regulatory arbitrage, but rather just take a step back and say, what things do we want to guard against? And we now have 13 years of history as an industry of, I think, 6 or 7 collapses, a whole bunch of interesting new things like NFTs that have always pushed the limit, and a global marketplace with more than 100 million people floating around that we can draw from, and we can look on a case-by-case basis and build a framework that makes sense. What's encouraging to me as an entrepreneur, briefly, is that there's a lot of great legislation that's been proposed recently, like the DCA, the FIA. There's executive orders that have come through that are trying to force clarity amongst the executive branch. So these things together create a global dialogue, and if we're clever about it, I think we can converge to a reasonable compromise that we as an industry can live with and continue to be competitive with.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you, Mr. Chair, for your indulgence.
thank the gentlelady. I'd like to yield to the ranking member.
All right, so a couple things. Did he say DCA? Is he trying to tell us a subliminally dollar cost average? Okay, in all seriousness, he talks about transparency, right? And my initial thought was, well, not really, because we didn't know what Celsius was doing with the money. We didn't know.
He
what
was referencing he immediately referenced Bitcoin right off the back.
Right.
Said transparency. For example, you can see every transaction on Bitcoin.
Here's what I was leading to. I said
But Celsius has a token on the blockchain, but their blockchain wasn't what it was. Their money management of assets.
Here's the point I'm getting to. The point is, my initial thought was, well, is it really? And then my right after, I was like, wait. Literally, a day after Celsius announced that they were freezing assets, right, freezing withdrawals, we started getting people finding, hey, this is one wallet. This is where they've been sending money. This is another one of their wallets. This is how they've been investing the money. So if this similar situation were to happen in traditional finance or Wall Street, how long would it take for you to figure out what the hell is going on and what they're doing? Right? The outcome might be the same, but how long would we have to wait to figure out, okay, this happened. And now, although you might not have a choice, or you might not have very many options when it comes to something like Celsius versus if, let's say, Lehman Brothers or whatever the case may be, but it'll get you thinking, well, oh crap, I have money on BlockFi too. Let me see if I can find their wallets and what they're doing. Now you can maybe save yourself from making a similar mistake in the very near future. So I agree. I think with blockchain, you cannot hide behind blockchain. You cannot. And there's enough people out there with enough time on their hands that are smart enough to be able to trace wallets, where you're sending money. So you can't lie. You can't say, no, I didn't do this, or the money didn't go here. You can't. Everything is out in the open. And that 100% agree with. And one of the reasons I love crypto. Robin, what were your thoughts on his? By the way, he cleans up nice, man. This dude looked like a straight CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
He is a CEO of a
Fortune 500 company. No, he's
it's not public. IOHK is not publicly traded.
Correct.
However, their valuation is a top 500 company.
The man wants to look like a professional businessman versus just a mountaineer or a lumberjack out in Colorado. He can. Bob, what do you want to talk about?
So, what's the he brought up examples, but what's the message he's trying to portray here? So at least in this question, in this answer, it's to address the fact that the question asked was, should crypto be regulated as a commodity or security? And it's been in the same thing that I've been saying. If you've ever watched our show when it comes to regulation, it's like, stop trying to put something in one box, because crypto assets do so much more. And when you talk about NFTs, when you talk about all of the other avenues and how, he mentioned how crypto assets are used. If you use it as a store of value, and maybe that lane should be regulated in such a manner. And if you use it as a utility or you use it for trading, then you should be regulated in a certain way that lines up with how trading is regulated when it comes to assets. And so he made it very obvious and very apparent that people just need to stop trying to put something in a box, because you're looking at stocks, you're looking at equities and commodities. You're basically looking at a barrel of oil and you're looking at a share of a company that's publicly traded. Those two things are very, very specific. And then you have cryptocurrency, which is one, at base level, it's a software. It's a technology software that lets you do stuff. One, you can own a piece of the software. You can own tokenized pieces of software.
Call them shares. Just to make it simple. Call them shares.
They have comparisons, but those same tokenized pieces, I don't buy shares of Tesla to charge my Tesla car up. But you can buy Ethereum to transact with it. So yes, there are similarities. And just because you have a token, yes, it's similar to a share, but it does things that shares don't.
Right.
And for that reason, it doesn't need to fit in a damn box. It doesn't need to simply be a commodity or simply be a security. And the mindset needs to change. And you need to look at it and either create a box that it fits in, or you take the components of cryptocurrency as it is, and each of those components get regulated in corresponding areas. So
I think you made really good points. I actually noted the time this happened because we're going to splice that out and put it on Twitter. I agree with you, man. You know, I kind of, you know, pushed back on that whole narrative for a little bit of time, but the SCC wants to control it. The the commodities, COFTC or CTF, commodities future trading, CFTC. Sorry. They want to regulate it. The OCC wants to come in and regulate stable coins. And you got the Fed and the central banks. I mean, Robin's right. Yes, I said it. Robin's right.
What?
Said Robin's right.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait a second. Yeah.
Hey, I got no qualms saying someone's right, even if I don't like him that much. Listen, he's got a point. It on a certain level, it's kind of like a share of security, but not really. On a certain level, it's kind of like a payment platform, but not really. So what do you do when you have burgeoning technology and something new that comes to market? You adapt and you figure out, okay, break it down to its simplest form. This portion of it fits into this box. This portion of it fits into that box. This portion, or just create a whole new agency. That's what I say we should.
But here's the thing. Why is he testifying? That now why has he been called in front of Congress? And the reason is that yes, when you use Ethereum and you use Bitcoin as an example, you can easily break it down. But now where you get into issues is when you bring in a blockchain that literally the purpose of the blockchain is essentially a Ponzi scheme, right? There's a lot, I'm not saying that like the major tokens are, but there's a lot of these that come out and they don't have very much utility. And the only reason that they derive any value is simply off of the expectation that more investors will come in behind you.
The word community.
That the community will grow and you can exit before the community leaves. Which is literally the definition of a Ponzi scheme. Now, here's the thing. You can say that business is a Ponzi scheme. You can say stocks are a Ponzi scheme, you know, essentially. But there does come a change where something is beneficial for humanity or mankind. You can say Tesla is a Ponzi scheme too. It derives its value by other investors coming in and buying Tesla. However, the company itself and the product that they offer changed the world for the better, right? You have electric cars. Whether or not you think you need electric cars or not, you know what? Competition is good. And even in the energy sector. And even if you love your gasoline, drinking car, I drive a
gasoline drinking car.
Whatever it's called. I have a gas powered car. I really don't have any interest in getting an electric car. But
so you're saying you hate the environment.
But what I'm saying is that...
So you're saying you hate the environment.
We can all agree that there is an extreme reliance when it comes to fossil fuels. To a point to where you have a country invade another country, we cut them off, and boom, all of a sudden, energy prices skyrocket. Inflation is negatively impacted. And all of this stems from the fact that we are so dependent on fossil fuels. And you can get into the global warming thing if you want to, but I'm just saying we are heavily dependent on fossil fuels. And so the fact that you have a sector come up that is heavily dependent on a fuel that isn't fossil fuels could be good for our space. So what I'm saying is that there's more than just a Ponzi scheme if you bring real utility to the world and you can change the world. And cryptocurrencies are doing that. And the ones that are here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these other major players, and ones that we don't even know of yet, or maybe some smaller project that just hasn't got there yet, these are going to be the financial replacements for the systems that we have in now. In the same way that we have an inefficient gasoline vehicle, or perhaps we just need less gasoline vehicles, we have a replacement and we have a different option when it comes to finance. And now if I want to have a gas car, I can go buy that. If I want to have an electric car, I can go buy that because of innovation. And we are seeing new innovation now. And if I want to just pay in dollars and I want to have a traditional savings account, cool, I have that option. But if I want to unplug from the political powers and messing around my damn money system and just doing whatever the hell they want to, I can say, you know what? I don't like what you're doing with the money in place, so I'm going to go with my own option. And that is good. And the ones that lead that sector are going to be the ones that change the world, the ones that hold the value, and it's not a security, it's not a Ponzi scheme, it's an emerging technology that will change the world.
And we'll leave it at that. You run for president or what? Is that your presidential speech? Whew. I think you'll need to see more adoption of being able to use crypto as payment, because at the end of the day, you need a fiat on and off ramp, right? So, and that way you would have to replug back into the traditional financial system. So we see more headway made there. I don't think you can completely unplug. Just like if you get solar, you're not completely unplugging from the power grid, right? So still a lot of room to grow, which is very exciting.
Yeah,
all right.
And even the electric vehicles is still an emerging technology. And, you know,
I think
right
I
now,
saw a stat, only 3% of the world's vehicles are electric.
but I mean, think about how efficient was, you know, they always talk about like, well, you know, making batteries is super energy, you know,
consuming.
Yeah. And then the infrastructure you have to build, like how efficient were gasoline cars back in the 50s?
Right.
And so if you build the technology now, I mean, just imagine where the batteries will be in the range and the infrastructure that we have 60 years from now is going to be leaps and bounds better than it is now.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We're talking Coinbase. Coinbase to replace its pro service and bundle it under one roof. Whose tagline is that? Bundle that progressive or?
You know, this is literally my go-to platform.
I know. Every time you show me
it's always
you show me
Coinbase Pro. And you know what? I just feel most secure there. I feel like they're least likely to go under.
Right.
And with the Pro version, obviously, you know, I can't use their base version. Their base version, it's just a street robbery, man. I love Coinbase, but you can't.
Hey,
the fees.
Their Coinbase One. You pay $30 a month. You get zero trading fees. You get $1 million in fund protection, asset protection. So when I was using Coinbase a lot, you know, buying, selling, I signed up for it and it was great.
But the thing is, with Coinbase One, you're getting all of those, you know, whatever it is, these free trades, right?
Free trades, $1 million in insurance.
You're getting it at prices that aren't limit value, and I can sit here and I can buy, like, say Ethereum's at a flat 1,000. If I go on Coinbase and I execute, you hit buy, you look at the very end, you don't get one Ethereum for 1,000, you get 0.95.
Right.
And the gap is so much smaller when you go to a limit buy. I can literally put the limit buy at 1,000, it'll execute, and then with the fee, it'll be like 0.99.
Right.
And so you're losing a lot there. So whatever you're making up, whatever you're saving on these transaction fees, you're getting taxed on the execution at whatever price they decide to push it at. And so for me, I'm setting my own price. You can you can save so much money because we see like right now, like here, pull my laptop. Like right now, if I was going to buy Bitcoin.
Real quick.
Okay.
Big D, no, we're not pushing Coinbase One. We're just saying, I was just saying I used to use it and I don't anymore.
So right now, if I were going to say I wanted to buy Ethereum in the next 5 hours. Okay. So first of all, I'm just going to look here. Okay.
First of all, you're on Bitcoin.
Yeah, we got Bitcoin. This one. Okay. So if I want to buy Bitcoin in the next 5 hours, let's see. The price right now, $20,400. And so I'm not going to buy it at $20,400. Just looking at the 1 day chart here, we were as low as 20,200. So if I were going to sell, I would probably be targeting, if I was going to buy, I was probably be targeting somewhere in between 20,200 and 20,300. So I would probably put I'd put a buy order at $20,255. And I would feel damn confident that this will fill by the end of the day. And if I was going to sell, I would do the opposite. I'd look, how high was it for today? $20,750. I'd probably, if I needed to sell it within the next 5 hours for whatever reason, I would sell it at $20,600. And if you're worried about the trading fees, this literally is going to be cheaper than the trading. You know what I mean? Like whatever. This will cover the cost of trading fee plus some, buying and selling just at the daily high and low, or at least 10% off of that. And so that's how I go about it, man.
Yeah. And now speaking of Coinbase Pro, Coinbase is ending a more than 4-year run with its professional trader-focused platform in a move that will bring all of its crypto activity under one roof. Coinbase Pro service would be rolled into one unified account. A replacement service known as Advanced Trade will pick up the slack of Coinbase Pro, where it will attempt to resolve friction by embedding it into the Coinbase mobile app and Coinbase.com platform. So there's a little piece of news there. You want to add anything before I move on?
Well, the one thing is the days of listing a token on Coinbase Pro first and then moving it over to Coinbase are now gone. Because that was kind of like almost the test net for new tokens. Go there first, see if they have enough liquidity, if there's any liquidity issues. And then
well, they can still put it on the advanced trading, I guess. I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like or how they're going to set it up, but it's still possible. Now, we talked about Biddy, not my bearded dragon, but the first ever Bitcoin short ETF. There was crickets on day one, but ProShares short Bitcoin ETF volume is up 380% on day two. The Biddy exchange traded fund allows investors to take short positions on the Bitcoin market without holding Bitcoin themselves. This is a quote from ProShares CEO Michael Sapir. The reception that Biddy is getting in the market affirms investor demand for a convenient and cost-effective ETF to potentially profit or hedge their crypto holdings when Bitcoin drops in value. That reminds me of options a little bit. You got a big bag of Bitcoin?
Essentially what you're short is exactly that, essentially. But
I mean, if you if this was available in the 50,000 range, you would have made a lot of money on the way down. A lot of money. You would have offset your losses on your Bitcoin holdings.
I think they're usually like 30 days or like a 1 month, right? Generally, because they expire. You can't.
But like options, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how to set it up. Maybe they don't expire. I'm just assuming they do. But here's my question.
Okay.
Obviously, not a spot ETF, not correlated with the purchase and sale of Bitcoin. Just follows simply the price. Do you think if there's powers that be that are heavily invested in this ETF, that stand a lot to gain
in the short
from shorting, do you think that they will go outside of the ETF and basically push down and manipulate the price of Bitcoin also by just simply selling? So let's say you're a whale, you have Bitcoin, and you want to sell, and you know that you have so much you're going to sell that you're going to probably drop the price.
Right.
So, of course,
or
what
these
do you,
days,
what
all
do
it
you
takes
do?
Is a Elon Musk tweet.
So, traditionally what you would do is in these whales, there's thousands of examples of this. A whale will go in, they'll put in a short position on Bybit or on exchange, and then they will go and dump their tokens. They have thousands of Bitcoin. They sell thousands of Bitcoin. They know the price is going to dip, and then they open a short position and they profit all the way down. And they get some of their Bitcoin back. Now, there ain't nothing stopping them from doing this on a global scale, on a Wall Street scale, or on that side. And so, if you are a investor, you can simply open up the same position with different exposure risks. And so, I would be careful, because the people that have a lot of money that are putting money into this ETF probably own some Bitcoin too. And if they stand to gain from the price dropping, you best believe they will manipulate the market.
My boy Steph Curry said, laughing my ass off. How is this more safe than a spot future or a spot ETF? He means
It's not. I don't think.
No. It's all.
What makes no sense to me. Okay, so the argument at hand is that Gary Gensler was like, you know what? Because you're not buying and selling Bitcoin, we would actually we endorse a futures ETF because it won't manipulate the price by people buying it, and that was his case or reason for it. I think that's what it sounded like. He didn't lay it out just like that, but I mean, there's no disputing if they pass the spot Bitcoin ETF, it's going to rally the price hard. There's going to be extreme volatility right off the rip. Especially, you got to think, if it's just give this hypothetical situation. Say Grayscale gets their ETF approved. And let's say that their application is going in front and they know that they're going to pass it, right? In the same way that Valkyrie, when they got their futures ETF, there was a buzz about a week before they were going to pass it. Now, Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust is trading at like a 30% discount for the premium.
Right.
And so they're going to convert all their Bitcoin over. So in the same way that you have the pegged staked Ethereum that converts over, the same thing would happen with Bitcoin.
Right.
And if you can get it 30% off, what would happen if I told you, hey, staked Ethereum is 30% cheaper than regular Ethereum, and guess what? It's official. The merge goes into effect next week. What would you do?
I would buy every single piece of stake.
There you go. And so
It's called arbitrage.
Now, what happens when the merge goes live? You just profited, right? You're going to take what? Profits?
Hell yeah.
Exactly. So all of the people that have bought in with this kind of conception in their head, they bought all of this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust off of the assumption that it's going to pass the ETF. And when it does, all of that discounted Bitcoin they bought, they're probably going to dump on the market, right? So I'm just saying that.
Well, I don't know.
Extreme volatility. You could see it going both ways. That's why I wanted to say volatility, because I guess a lot of people's ideas like, oh, hey, they're going to pass the spot Bitcoin ETF, injection of capital, boom, Bitcoin going straight moonshot. And you know what? You're also putting on the table the largest Bitcoin wallet, and all the holders just made 30%.
Right.
And that literally hits the market at the same time.
Yeah, but if you get enough people going in to buy,
I'm saying it could go either way.
Right.
I'm saying more than likely, if they pass the Bitcoin ETF, first of all, it's going to be euphoria, blah, 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 hopium, whatever. The price more than likely is going to shoot up. But don't get it twisted.
Kevin O'Leary says all the time, once the spot ETF gets...
Don't get it twisted. But institutions
want to get in. He thinks there's going to be $1 trillion pumping into the market
they'll
overnight.
Get into it. But you think institutions are going to get in on it?
And just hodl?
No, day one? No, they're going to let that thing come out. They're gonna see where the price goes, go up, retrace, whatever it is, and then because institutions, the ones that are dropping billions of dollars, they're not FOMOing into projects. They're not gonna be like, guys, guess what? Wall Street just passed ETF. Woo, dumping money. You know what I mean? Like they're going to come in strategically.
You don't dump money upwards. You dump money downwards. Dump money.
I'm just saying they're going to come strategically in. And so, you know, everybody agrees.
Robin.
ETF, price is going to moonshot. I'm just saying, volatility, it could do the opposite.
Listen to this. Crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital pitched a GBTC arbitrage trade before rumored collapse. According to a recent report, 3AC's OTC operation, TPS Capital, pitched a GBTC arbitrage opportunity before the company repeatedly failed to meet margin calls. Kyle Davies, who's a co-founder, spoke with Wall Street Journal, told them that the Terra Luna situation caught him off guard. And days before it blew up, they were pitching investors on new arbitrage trade. Their pitch was to structure a trade for counterparties that would offer the upside of the discount collapsing as a deadline neared for the SCC decision. GBTC currently trades at a 33.75% discount to the price of Bitcoin. So, I mean, that's what you were talking about. Was this what are your initial thoughts on this?
That's exactly what I just said.
You think, was it, if you were on the other side and 3AC pitched you on this, what would what would you have done? Obviously, it didn't happen.
I don't want to play. Okay, here. If I want exposure to Bitcoin, I'm just gonna buy Bitcoin. In the same way that, like, if I want long-term gains,
even if you can get a 33% discount.
It's the same thing.
Speculating,
man. Same thing. And even in the same way. Okay, what happened to Celsius?
They did.
Why
Actually,
they did?
They're not dead. They're still.
Why? Okay, why is 3 Arrows gone? Here's the thing:
Terra Luna started it up.
when you aren't happy enough with the gains that you have, when you're not, when you look back at Michael Saylor and him discussing putting up his Bitcoin for stake, he's got the long-term vision. He doesn't care about 5% or 8%. He doesn't care about buying discounted Bitcoin on a grayscale trust. You think Michael Saylor, if he wanted to maximize profits, wouldn't it be advantageous for him to buy the grayscale Bitcoin instead of off a spot market?
Right.
Exactly. Because you are taking a risk. Whether or not you want to, the risk is large or small, like, you're taking a risk. And buying discounted pegged asset, it's not the real thing. And so on top of that, you also have mitigating factors to your profit. You don't just buy the trust and that's it. You have to pay every year, for them to hold the trust. So it's not like you're buying. You can't trade with it. I can't send you my grayscale trust. It's a very different platform. But now, if you want exposure to Bitcoin and you're used to using Wall Street, cool. And you don't want to go learn the whole seed phrase thing and you don't want to cuss it, then great, go buy it. You know what? It's probably the second best decision to buying the real thing at this point.
Right.
But it's not the first best decision. The first best decision, if you want it, is simply to buy and hold Bitcoin.
That's the first bestest decision, guys.
The firstest, bestest, mostest, amazingest decision is to just buy and hold Bitcoin. Stop playing around with stocks.
With that being said, let's move on to our last segment of our show, which is going to be our market analysis. All right, looking at CoinMarketCap, we have,
and also looking at the chat, we got DFib up in here. What's up, bro?
total market cap sitting a shy, just a touch, a horse's hair over $900 billion. Volume is extremely low, under 60 billion over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance down to 43.1, and ETH dominance continues to slip. It is now under 15, sitting at 14.7. XRP, so they're up 1% on the day. They just announced they're opening up offices, or an office, in Canada. They plan on hiring 50 people. So stuff might not be happening in the US, but overseas, XRP has been building. They're gaining traction. And man, I'm telling you, if you got XRP, if you got a bag of XRP and you got a nice bag, wait till this thing settles, or there's a ruling on the SCC case here in the US, because that's the piece I believe that's missing for this token. I mean, this token is way undervalued for everything it's accomplishing and what it's doing and what it's set forth to do. Very, very undervalued. And then Cardano, 46 cents. Rounding out the top 10, we have Dogecoin. Now, I wanted to show the CoinMarket calendar so you guys know what's going on. So USDD, which is the stable coin that is still currently depegged, they're doing an AMA today at 3 o'clock UTC. When is that? When is UTC? Did it already pass?
That is England time.
Why the hell are we on England time?
It's like whatever. I don't know. It's the global time. Because if you live in Germany, for example, you're not gonna say, "What time is it? Is Pacific America time?" Like you just go the global time is 0 in England or in London.
Also, on June 30th, Cosmos is going through their row upgrade. Interchain Security version 1. So that's happening. I like Cosmos. We talked about this with Robin yesterday. Doesn't seem like he ain't buying no Cosmos.
I ain't as bullish on Cosmos as you are.
Go ahead.
This USDD, like,
I don't even know what they're doing.
Do you think they're gonna get back to $1?
I don't know. They keep saying that. Here, let's look at it. They keep saying they're dumping money in it to
yeah, I saw they bought like another $10 million.
The same shit, man. Like nothing's changing.
Nobody's using your stablecoin anyways, man. Like, why are you dumping all this money into this thing? You got to risk. You're risking a collapse. You're risking a collapse of unnecessary capital that you've invested and your own ecosystem's capital, because you got to think, you didn't generate all that capital yourself. That's a lot of that capital that you're dumping in there comes from your investors. And so, like, bro, nobody's using these algorithmic stablecoins. But now here, like I said before, algorithmic stablecoin will make the world better when they figure it out. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, I would have zero money in algo stablecoins. All right, so I'm a big believer in Chainlink. I love Chainlink. I drew this little parallel channel. This is the price points I'm buying Chainlink at, between $5.38 and $7.42. Multiple reasons.
Wasn't its all-time high like $25 or something?
No, Chainlink got up to over $50. Chainlink's all-time high, if I go to the day chart,
I just remember it traded at $20 for eternity, bro.
$52.
Yeah, but where was it realistically? Kind of, and where was those highs there before the big peak? It was like, like where was it? Not there's like a little. Where did it trade at for those? Right there, in between those.
Right here.
Yeah. What's that?
$30.
$30. I think it traded at $30 forever, and then it, up down.
Okay, let me tell you why I'm bullish on Chainlink. Multiple reasons. One, they offer a service that is a necessity, even though they're not the only ones that do the service. They are the gold standard for oracles. Without an oracle, smart contracts don't function. Also, their tokenomics are strong. Also, they just introduced staking. And this one is a big deal for me, okay? You can take my face away. At this point,
you introduce staking, it might come off as a negative, bro. I'm just saying.
No, I don't see that. This is what I believe is going to make Chainlink different. Proof of reserve. Get definitive on-chain proof of any asset's true collateralization. Reduce risk with automated truth-based audits. Improve transparency for users. Publish reliable, timely, and immutable audit reports on-chain to help bring new levels of transparency to traditional audit processes and prevent systemic failures in DeFi. If DeFi is going to survive, think about it. If you're an investor and you have a platform like Aave comes up to you, or Aave's in your face, Nexo, whatever, and you have Aave who uses proof of reserves, Chainlink's proof of reserves, and you have Nexo that doesn't. So at any point, you can get an on-chain audit that's immutable that'll tell you how much collateral they really have. What kind of reserves does this platform have, and can you feel safe? Which one are you going to choose?
But here's the problem with Chainlink, is that you don't need the token to execute this. Like as an investor. Okay,
that's
let me
rewind. You better rewind. Okay.
No. What I'm saying, you use a token for its utility, and that's why Ethereum is what it is, and then Bitcoin's just a straight store of value. So you either got to fit one or the other, store value or utility. And
Chainlink is utility.
What's that?
Chainlink is utility.
But the users aren't using it.
Yes, they are.
Okay. So you're telling me there's going to be millions of people checking on-chain data for how much leverage is on stuff?
That's not who's using the link token. It's the people that are feeding the contracts with. It's the people, the validators that are feeding this information into the smart contracts. These are the ones that have to
but
put up
there's
link
not
as collateral.
that many validators, and the people that are securing the network
They are
aren't
the
using.
largest oracle in the
But I'm
space.
saying compared to millions of people using a platform daily, when you have transactions moving all the time, when you have it
those
used
are
as a form of
transactions.
I
Feeding
get,
smart
I
contracts with data is
understand
a
that.
transaction.
I understand that. And I'm not saying that there is no utility. I'm not saying nobody on this planet's using it. But I'm saying, comparatively speaking, when you have validators using the utility compared to the masses of all the crypto people using it in a day-to-day transactions. Excuse me. Now,
Yeah, that's God telling you to stop because you're going down the wrong path here.
no, I'm just saying.
It is a service that is used across every single blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Yes.
That has smart contracts.
No, they're not in every single blockchain. They just got in Cardano just like 2 months ago. They're not on every single blockchain. I'm sorry, they're not.
Sorry, they're on 90% of them.
Okay, whatever you want to say.
90% of them.
So
Plus, you have staking. That's another way for people to lock up their coins. I'm very bullish on Chainlink.
I don't care about staking. Staking is staking is a negative right now, honestly. Voyager, everybody's. I was
If you're
listening
staking
to a
on-chain, how is
podcast.
staking
I was
on-chain
listening
a
to a
negative?
podcast today. They're like, Voyager, was offering very high interest on their staking, especially on their Voyager token. Blah blah blah. Like, I'm just saying,
But
man.
you're staking with a centralized exchange. This is staking on chain. It's different. Man, you're a buzzkill.
You know
bro.
what? You know who else staked on chain?
Who?
Anchor.
We knew Anchor was a Ponzi, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm not. I don't think right now staking is
You
a
can't
positive.
compare Anchor.
Staking is not a positive.
Sure, it might have a
It would be
negative-
like
it might have a
It
negative-
would be like me saying, guys, guess what? This project's launching another ICO in 2018. Like, nobody would be like, okay, like, that's not a good idea to
Sure.
to
The sentiment
hype
around
that
the
up
word
right
the
now.
sentiment around the word staking
That
is
is,
bad.
yeah,
But
100%.
But
I'm just saying
Chainlink,
the amount of
Chainlink
transactions.
Chainlink serves a specific purpose.
Okay,
It is not speculative.
Here's
It
an
is not a
analogy.
Solana or a Cardano
Here's
or
an
a Shiba
analogy.
Inu.
Let's just say you have a very small exchange that is super secure and everybody loves it. Okay,
A what?
an exchange,
A small one, you said?
a small exchange.
Okay.
You have a small exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Their transactions are low, but they're the most secure exchange out there. Let's
Well,
say it's run by Bank of America, but nobody uses it. Okay. And it ain't gonna go under or whatever. But everybody's still using Coinbase, everybody's still using Binance, but there's the Bank of America exchange, it's there, it's whatever. And who's profiting more? Who is making more money off of transactions? Coinbase or Binance?
Well, that's a dumb question.
It's the same analogy. It's the same analogy. Okay, look, you have a
you're saying
chain.
no one's using
that
Chainlink. So you're saying no one's using Chainlink? Is that the
in
analogy?
comparison to the utility of other projects, Ethereum, transactions, sending, like all of that stuff. So that's what I got, man. We got
This man
Stefan.
literally said-
Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
This man literally said no one's using Chainlink.
In
Literally
comparison.
Literally said no one's using Chainlink. Don't ring the bell. I don't have time for this. My head hurts.
In comparison, that's all I'm saying.
You are. Did you go with Daniel? Did you go token in the back or something?
Okay,
Jesus
let me ask the
Christ.
chat here. How many people have transacted with Chainlink?
They don't need to transact with Chainlink. It is the fucking validators that do. Stop. I said don't ring the bell. I don't have time for this shit. It's not about the people the validators who give data to the smart contract.
But how many validators are there?
There's a shitload of them because every chain uses it. Rocco,
Bro.
we're done.
The amount of the
man.
amount of transactions that go on in the Ethereum network, the amount of transactions that are on the Solana network, vastly dwarfs the amount of transactions that. Whatever, we're done here.
We're done. Exit out of this. I don't have time. All right, roll the outro music. We want to once again thank our friend Crypto Blood for taking some time, blessing us with his knowledge and his personality. A way better personality, Robin. Also, guys, please go support him. Go follow him on Twitter at CryptoBlood_. The link to his YouTube channel is in the description of this video. On behalf of myself, Robin, and Rocco, we love you guys. We will see you tomorrow where we have our friend, Forrest from Crypto Stackers, going to be breaking down the markets. And I'm going to ask him about Chainlink. And we're going to put Robin in his place. So make sure you come back for tomorrow. Until tomorrow, we love you guys. Peace.
Drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turn into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. Smoking on a island, say she wanna ride with me. Took her on a flight, said all her bags from Italy. I sent her with a friend, they shopping there religiously. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Say she love me, but that's when she rockin' Prada bag. That she ready for the next, I won't not so fast. Slow down, slow down, slow down, girl, don't you crash. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Cause we can mess up that pretty face, but we can fuck up that pretty lady. Tryna kiss off, I'm in your place. Man, this shit so crazy. Never thought I'd be doing shit like this again. Put that effort in, girl, then I will pay you. Crash that thing out the park, now I feel like Babe Ruth, baby. This shit I can't do, baby. No, I can't move, baby. Nothing I can't prove, baby. I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turn into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turn into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. Question marks along your brain, wonder if you should try again. Look at me inside your braces. Can't focus when we face to face. Plenty things I could go say. Name a place I go and pay at. Said she want no boo. Been around the world, plenty things I can show you. Taking flights to GA for our soul food. Gotta pay 1K for GA at my shows too. Keep it 1K with my fans even at my lows. Ooh. That's why I'm back. Show your man the things I've showed you. Tell your man I used to hold you, but I won't hold you. Your new man is lame and all I spoke is true. Life won't smoke for you. That's how this comes with coping too. This madness come with shit that's overdue. You strong by yourself, nobody else holding you. But I ain't holding you. You the one I need when I'm off that perk or two. Hit that thing early, got your sleep like curve for you. All these lame ass bitches I curve for you. These packs and pearls I burn with you. It's up now, baby, it's stuck. They can look, but they cannot. They gon' hate, so I keep that tucked. All this ice on me like pucks. I work hard, don't need no luck. Only thing I need is my Glock. When there's bread, these birds gon' flock. When they dead, I let them rot. I ain't tryna leave you up, I said stop waiting. And I don't got time for these pussy fuckers playing. You gotta read between the lines that I am saying. Ain't got no time for no more bullshit conversations. Cause I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turn into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turn into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off.